Hey, this is Lee from Toolman Tech Help in New Zealand, and today we're looking at the Epson TM-L90 Label Printer. Now this printer is very commonly used in McDonalds restaurants in New Zealand. I'm not sure if that's the same overseas, but definitely very common here. They do all the Uber Eats, Deliver Easy, DoorDash type orders. And this is the most common problem with them. This lid here won't go up or down. It's completely jammed in there. The reason it's jammed in there is because the cutter's stuck on, and what we need to do to get in there is remove this front section. So your best bet's like a car upholstery removal tool or something. You put it in there. If you don't have one of them, then a big screwdriver carefully in there, and then you want to move this side piece out, and then you'll be able to get that out of there. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is remove any bits of paper. You can see that will be jammed around in there as much as you can get out easily. And then to unjam that cutter, you need to move this little cog here. So we need to go. Probably going to need to take this one apart and get all the paper out of it, but in the meantime, to get that to open, you move this cog here until the cutter's back in its original position. Now you can tell when it's back in its original position because there's a, you can see it moving back there, and it'll come back to where you can see it through this little hole here. It's getting close to being out of the way now. Okay. Then you'll be able to get the lid open. So the most common issue with these cutters jamming open is it gets adhesive stuck on the cutter blade, and that's from the sticky labels getting stuck in there. And once that's jammed up in there, you'll need to take this cutter assembly apart and see if you can get that out, clean all the paper out of it. I like to take the whole plastic cover and everything off as well, give all that whole thing a good clean out when they're in the workshop here. But you can get away with just taking out the screw there and the screw that's inside there, and being very careful when you lift this up not to damage these wires in here. And you might be able to get enough on it to get the screw out to take the cutter apart. Don't recommend you doing this unless you're a tech, unless you're pretty good with doing this sort of handyman stuff. Yeah, if it's not your forte to be pulling things apart, I suggest you call a tech and get them to look at it for you. Okay, let's have a look, see what we can find. Okay, so there was a lot of gunk in there, and also a lot of adhesive built up on this cutter as well. We're going to have to clean all of this cutter off here. See down the end here, lots of sticky bits. That'll be jamming up. Lots of bits of paper in there as well, which are not going to help. There seems to be any jamming the micro switch. But yeah, we'll get this down into the workshop, get the compressor onto it, blow out all the dust, blow out all the bits of paper, clean it right out, clean that cutter off, and put it back together and see how it's going. Okay, so we've had the compressor in there, we've given this all a good clean out, got all the little bits of paper and dust and everything out of there. Now we're going to give this cutter a good clean with isopropyl alcohol. Make sure we get all the residue off there, and right down into this little guide here as well. You see on the back there's still quite a bit there. Obviously where bits of the label have got stuck to it at some stage, and just kind of eventually got too gummed up to operate properly. That's what I'm thinking is the issue with this one, which is very common for these. Okay, we'll give that thermal head a clean as well, and this roller here too, while we've got the isopropyl out. Okay, let's get it all put back together. Now you've got to be careful when you're reassembling this that you get this guide here to line up with the little hole here. Okay, these are a bit tricky. I guess make sure that this is up near the top. Try and sort of slide on this side first, if you can get it in the right spot, and then try and angle it downwards. It's not easy to get these apart. It's definitely it, but then this side is being difficult. Watch all those wires too. There we go. Hopefully we've got this lined up. Yep, nice. Okay, so then that folds back out there. Make sure that this is back in position correctly, and then you can put the screws back in. You get it in the right place. And this other side is the one that has the washer on it as well. Make sure you put that back on. Cables are all good. Okay, put it back in its cover. Carefully sliding it down so that nothing catches. Here we go. Carefully hold it together. We can plug some power in. Put some paper in it. That sounded pretty good, but let's do a couple of tests. So with this machine we can turn off the power, hold down the feed button while we switch the power on, and that should do a test print. You can see that's making the right cutter noises, everything seems to be working, but we'll do 10 or 20 of these just to test that it's all working. Cool, hope that helps. Thanks for watching.